Hi everyone and welcome to Insights by Johnita Francis. It is a very cold, yet again cold day right here in Sydney, Australia. However, the week has been quite lovely. During the day it's been nice and sunny, very crisp, very fresh. It just takes us a little bit longer in the mornings and in the late evenings to get our bones and our arthritis going. But aside from that, they've been beautiful long days. So this week I thought we'd talk about a few different things. I have a Strong Women Masterclass tomorrow night. That's Australian time, Thursday night. What that's all about is how to find our strong woman inside. Yeah, sorry guys, I've missed you out. Just for this one, I'll miss you out because women in general, we underestimate how much resilience we have and how much power we have and how to correctly use that power. And we can do it with elegance and poise and dignity and all those beautiful, fluffy, feminine words, or we can do it with ass kicking. And sometimes we have to kick asses to be able to understand our own power and understand how to stand in that. And the elegance and the poise and the dignity and all those, fluffy, nicer words, that comes with practice and comes with, I know from my personal experience, and I don't mind sharing this because I think pretty much my personal life is on YouTube. I've chronologued it. When I was growing up, I had this really terrible childhood, and how things got done in that household was through anger, through really poor behaviour, actually, looking back. But you got things done by being violent, by being aggressive, by being scary, by intimidating, and that's what happened in my childhood. That's how you got heard, is how you got your point across, is how you got the things that you needed. There was no love and nurturing, gentleness, kindness, nothing like that. It was just, for me personally, and I don't know if it's just the middle child or what, but I actually felt like I was more of a burden. I sort of came along and ruined everything for everybody, and that was a very clear indication for me. So in my first relationship, I chose someone that was very similar to both of the parents, very abusive, very not nurturing, not kind, not gentle, alcohol and drug addictions, dishonesty, deceitful behaviour. Because you mirror that, you think that that's what life's all about. You think that that's normal, and it's not until you sort of grow and you have some more experiences and you expand a bit on your own personal life and how you grow that you work out that that's not normal at all. It's actually quite horrible. So in my first relationship, when that dissolved, I decided, okay, well, you need to be able to be heard. So I went a little bit overboard as far as, making sure that my needs were heard and how people were listening to me. So I was very Gestapo, I think would probably be a good word for it, very black or white. There were no shades of grey. There was no nurturing because that's how I grew up. I thought that that's how life was. So I got rid of number one, that's okay, and then number two came along, and he was a different kind of abuser, and so I had to learn how to understand my emotions better because he would emotionally abuse me. So I had to understand how I was feeling and to process how I was feeling so I would be able to not do that back. I didn't want to play that emotional tug of war to, and manipulate people through using my emotions or using their emotions against them to be able to get what I wanted. So I learned a lot about how I didn't want to behave and how I didn't want to be in that relationship. And it was actually kind of good because now, in my mid-40s, I can look back at each of my 3 relationships that I've had and I've gone, okay, this section or this relationship taught me all these things, not to hit people and that the violence and the aggressive way of living is not the way to go. There's other ways to be heard. And often the quieter our voice becomes, the more people lean in and listen to us, which is quite ironic because I thought if you boomed your voice out, people would naturally listen to you. So that was a big learning curve for me. The second person taught me about emotional abuse, and that's very much what the mother did. Very much emotional abusing and just cutting off emotionally, not nurturing, not loving, not giving, not protecting, all the things that sort of embody what a mum does, she didn't. So the second person was very maternal in his approach to things, and therefore he also used emotion to manipulate. So I learned, and not all mums do that, obviously. I don't do that as a mum either, but it's his attitude and the way he interacted with me actually mirrored the way she was when I was a child. So I was actually able to take that little section of my life and learn how to understand emotions on a deeper level and understand and bring in some compassion and some nurturing of myself. Then I was single again. That relationship didn't work out, lo and behold. And the next person taught me about shutting down, because his whole methodology in that relationship was to just give me the silent treatment. So, and I realized that I didn't want to argue, I didn't want to fight, I didn't want to emotionally manipulate or, you know, be ruled too much or consumed too much by my emotions. So I would shut down, I would withdraw. That's not good either, because nothing gets resolved when you shut down and you withdraw. So number 3 taught me how gut-wrenching silent treatment can be, and how it messes with your sense of value to be ignored so much that you feel like you don't exist. So I learned that I needed to find this happy medium. I needed to be strong enough but not be aggressive. I needed to be soft enough but not be a pushover. And I needed to speak up enough but do it in the right manner so that people could understand, and that we could find that common ground where they were being heard and listened to, and I was being heard and listened to. Number 4 comes along, and I think I finally got it. And the best thing about number 4, my beautiful husband, is the fact that he actually has gone through similar experiences. So he gets that screaming and fighting is not the way. He gets that withdrawal is not the way. He learned his lessons in a little bit, in a different format and in a different process, in different ways, but the lessons are still the same, and how to be soft and how to be tough and when to apply, what to apply, how to apply it, listening to your audience. Everybody gives and receives love in a different way, and we're not all the same. Love is the umbrella term, but we all give and receive it in a different way. So for me to have enough compassion and understanding to realize that he was sensitive about some stuff, and for him to do the same thing back. So we've got this amazing relationship, and yeah, he annoys the crap out of me every now and then, but that's what life's all about. People are going to annoy you. But the thing is, the coping mechanisms that we both have and how we apply ourselves and our resolve and our solutions and conflict resolution during those times when we're annoying each other, because I'm sure I annoy him too, but I won't say that to his face, and how we come out the other side of those disagreements, or those times when we need to really sit down and have those really tough conversations and make sure that we're being heard and making sure that we're understanding and we're listening to understand. We're not listening to reply. And a lot of people get in that cycle, and I certainly got in that cycle myself with the first 3 relationships, where I was listening to reply. I wasn't listening to what he was saying to me at any of those 3. I was too busy thinking, crap, how am I going to get out of this? Do I get aggressive? Do I get sooky? Do I cry? Do I go and lock myself away? What do I do? How do I cope with this? And I don't have to worry about that anymore, because I know that now, living in that monster house growing up, having those 3 abusive relationships, have taught me the lessons. I'm a doer, okay? I can't read a book on abuse and go, oh yeah, I've got that. I actually have to live the experience. And going through all those lessons and learning about those things and having them in 3 separate partners, which was ideal, because that meant that I wasn't being overwhelmed with the abuse. I was actually being able to take them down into manageable chunks and dissect them and understand them properly and give all my focus to that lesson about me that I was learning. They were teaching me about me. I didn't feel like that at the time, okay? I'll let you know. Hindsight tells us that was a lesson that we needed to look for the moral of the story, or what we were going to get out of it. But look, it was difficult and shitty, and I wouldn't want to live through it again. But I wouldn't change it, because my understanding of who I am and how I apply my knowledge to myself, my own life, and how I apply my knowledge when I'm doing my metaphysics education, and how I'm empowering women in particular to find that common ground, find that understanding. I wouldn't swap all of my experiences for anything. Absolutely no way whatsoever. So, yeah. That's it. That's what I wanted to share. So if you've got some time, Thursday night Australian time, that will be 7 p.m. Australian time, which would be ridiculously early for you guys, but I will pop it up on YouTube. You can get copies of all of my free masterclasses and workshops. I do not charge for these at all, because I want to share the knowledge that I've experienced, that I've learned, that I've researched, that I've understood from other people's experiences as well. And just spread the word that, life is fantastic when we apply our learned mechanisms and we don't do it from a place of fear. We actually do it from a place of, okay, I've got this. I can be a strong, empowered person. All right, guys, that's it from Insight by Johnita Francis for this week. Please do join me next week on Moonstruck and A1R Radio Network. You can catch us on iHeartRadio as well. My podcast will be on tonight, and you can always catch me for a private mentoring session at www.insightbyjohnita.com. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye for now.